right, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our students, welcome to family, friends, faculty, all of our esteemed guests, to the Fall 2024 White Coat Ceremony. My name is Dr. Katie Burns-Ryan. I have the honor of being the Dean for the College of Chiropractic here at NWHSU. We could not be happier that you are here with us to celebrate this important milestone. Over the past year and a half, you may have noticed your loved ones missing from weekend celebrations, holidays, calling you to say they're really tired, they need money. And it's because they have spent over 1,900 hours in lecture and lab alone. Just let that kind of sink in. That's just their class time. Along the way, they have celebrated some small milestones which were actually big in the moment, right? So just think back, everybody. Think about your orientation. Methods 1, the first time you had to say, "May I open your gown?" and actually touch somebody you didn't know. Methods 3, when you started adjusting. Anatomy, right? Methods 4, when you started doing side posture, like feel like you're a pretzel for those of you who are chiropractic students. You have accomplished so much in this first year and a half. These students, though, did not get here on their own. They got here because people helped lift them up, and it's appropriate for us to acknowledge all of those individuals. So first, what I'd like to do is acknowledge the faculty and the administration who have advised, instructed, and mentored them. Would the faculty please rise so we can acknowledge your hard work? Thank you, faculty. I would also like to recognize the platform party that is joining me on stage today. First is Dr. Deb Bushway, our President and Chief Executive Officer. Dr. Kim Pierce is next to her, Provost and Chief Academic Officer. Dr. Mary Tuchscher, Department Chair and Professor, and today's keynote speaker. Dr. Joe Muldoon, Associate Professor and today's name reader. Dr. Chris Smoley, Associate Professor and Director of Clinical Education, who will present our recipients with their certificates. Down below, we have soon-to-be Dr. Jackson Sadler, who's sitting with his cohort and will lead today's oath of professionalism. Jackson, go ahead and wave. And of course, all of our distinguished faculty on the stage today. Finally, I would like to recognize the friends and family that have supported our students day in and day out. Without your love, without your support, these recipients would not be here today. So students, it is time for you to stand up, look around this room, make eye contact, air hug, air five, whatever you need to do to help your loved ones know how much it means to you to have their support. Stand up, look around, find your people. That's always one of my favorite parts. Now, some of you might be wondering what the meaning of a white coat ceremony really is all about. And there is a brief description of this in your notebook. And I want to give a little bit more context to this for you as you're sitting with us today. At Northwestern, this is our midway point for our students. This is the midway point of their academic career where it's really shifting from the classroom learning to the clinical learning. We like to celebrate that these students have accomplished so much in their first year and a half with us, and as they transition into the clinic, we celebrate what they have to learn moving forward. To quote our own Dr. Jeremy Bartles, the natural order is to keep moving forward to the next big thing and accomplishment. But we must stop, take a moment, and reflect on our achievements. Only at these moments can we genuinely understand the sacrifices and the successes we have achieved and the failures we have overcome. Give yourself the space and self-love to appreciate all that you have endured to getting to this point. I think that's very telling for all of you who've gotten to this point. We celebrate this milestone with the wearing of a white coat, which is not just a piece of clothing, it is a symbol. It's often referred to as the cloak of compassion. And I want everyone in the audience, and especially my students, to think for just a moment about the characteristics you immediately assume of a person who is wearing a white coat. Just think for that for a moment. When you see someone in a white coat, what do you think? Often what I hear is that people who wear a white coat, they must be a doctor, someone who has knowledge, who has skills, expertise, someone that knows what's going on, someone that can help. A person wearing a white coat is considered a trusted professional who cares for their patients. But remember that after that first impression comes the real work of consistently demonstrating those characteristics, those virtues, and earning your patients' continued trust. Because you can always take your white coat off. You can hang it in the closet. You can throw it on that random chair in your bedroom, right? But you will always be a doctor of chiropractic. You cannot shed that cloak from your shoulders. To my T6 students, you have come a long way to earn this white coat. And on the screen, you're going to see some images taken from a student orientation. Now, this was just a little over 1.5 years, 2 years ago for you. And remember, look at the anxious looks, the excitement, the deer in headlight looks, right? Remember that moment. Because as you know, our academic program is rigorous, it's challenging, it is hard work. But you have demonstrated your resiliency and your dedication. That's what's brought you to this point. And I have to say that I am proud of each and every one of you. You are my future colleagues. That means a lot to me. So, it is time to celebrate your hard work and welcome you to the clinical environment. And what is a celebration without a speech? So, it is my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Mary Tuchscher to the podium, who's been selected by the T6 class to deliver today's keynote address.
Welcome, everyone, especially the family and friends of the white coat recipients. You have done it again. You've given me a little case of white coat syndrome. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is a very special group of students, and I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but with you folks, I just can't help it. Ever since we talked about the pros and cons of air fryers last year, you've taken up a permanent place in my heart. You are one of those groups that comes along every once in a while and you just click from the very first day. Last fall, a really good friend of mine died of cancer, and I found out that she had passed away whilst I was in class with you. These are future doctors who do not hold back their feelings. I felt immediately supported and cared for by them. In fact, the very next day, there was an air fryer on the podium. Grief mitigation through food. Excellent, excellent. I'm still not an expert, but I know that there'll be a Canadian stuffed fried dill pickle in my future. Not to be outdone, I did make them each a jar of homemade apple butter from the apples in my little orchard. And I wish I could keep this group around just forever and ever. Okay. I have to recognize that they're maturing and growing and progressing and becoming doctors, and they have been working so hard in that job. I've been through a lot. Exams, more exams, clinic entrance exams, national board exams, about 110 credits. And because they have the support of all of you, the world will soon experience their healing hands and hearts. And we at Northwestern are grateful for all that you've done to help them on their way. So, today is a very special day. This is the day that these students formally dedicate their professional lives to persons that you may never meet. People who are hurting and vulnerable. As many of you are parents, you may recognize a bit of what they are feeling. Patients will become a new priority in their lives, priorities whom you probably won't ever know their names. And they'll likely monopolize a lot of their time, your friend's time, both ways that are familiar to you and unfamiliar to you. They can share, in general ways, the pain and suffering that they see, the triumphs of treatment, and the sadness when what they do isn't enough. This is the life of service that they're choosing. It may feel like another layer of separation between you and your loved ones, you and your friends, but your support and theirs turned back on you will wrap you up in love and understanding and grace and humor, the safe place for all of you to land at the end of the day. So I'd like to talk a little bit about these white coats for a bit. Dr. Burns-Ryan said a few things about it too, and I would like to suggest that the white coat reminds people, ourselves included, that we can be trusted. That this is a special relationship between the doctor and the patient, and it requires nurturing of honesty and trust in oneself, and a recognition that though our skills can be learned, the heart for healing is at the center. It's at the core of all we do. It requires a purity of thought and clarity of mind, and the core of this healing heart is ever expanding, never contracting. Caring for others is not like a pie. When you give one piece away, it doesn't mean that there's one less for somebody else, right? It just means that there's more and more. The white coat has to reflect all colors, and the doctors must be conscious of all persons' needs, no matter the culture or creed. The white of the coat reminds us of that. The white coat can also be easily stained, and once so, must be scrubbed clean. Mistakes will be made, but the more thoroughly and diligently that we work to return it to white, the better off we'll all be. Not much is hidden on the white of the coat. So, how must we care for ourselves? Perhaps most of all, you must be gentle with yourselves and honest with yourselves. We are not perfect. The white of the coat may make us feel as though we should be, or worse, that we already are. Beware of these illusions. We cannot live up to perfect, and we must not delude ourselves otherwise. This can sometimes be a lot to bear. So, I've thought of a way to help us remember that we don't have to be perfect. There's a Native American First Nation traditional teaching that reminds us that we are not perfect, that no one is. Only the Great Spirit creates perfectly in everything that Native people produce, therefore, whether furniture or clothing or bow or arrows or beaded headdresses, they must make a mistake. There must be an imperfection. And this is called the spirit line. And I've gifted all of you with a little spirit line of your own. Hidden on the back of your coat's lapel is a small beaded pin to remind you that your coat is not completely white. Each of you is unique. So instead of making all the pins or spirit lines alike, I made sure that they were all imperfect as well. So you don't have to worry about spilling that first cup of coffee on your white coat. There's already imperfection there. All of us here, too, have placed a little spirit line on our coats. So if ever we feel we cannot be perfect or feel like we already are, just turn your lapel over and remember. See your spirit line guiding you and humbling you, reminding you that we are all human beings, necessarily imperfect, but always practicing the art of healing. Congratulations to you all.
Please join me one more time in thanking Dr. Tuksher for that moving promising. All right, it is the time that all of you have been waiting for, acceptance of your white coat certificates. Families, friends, we hope that you will clap and shout when your recipient's name is called. I want you to nearly embarrass them when they are coming across the stage. We're going to do a little practice, just a small practice. Now, students, you're allowed to clap for your friends as well, so I'm going to start with you. How are you going to welcome your friends as they go across the stage? Clap, cheer, I want to hear it. Come on. I like it. It's a good start. Okay, faculty, all right, let's hear you. Welcome them. All right, pretty good. I think it went up a level. Family, friends, let's hear it. Go. I love the enthusiasm. You're going to keep that going. Got it? We're going to have Dr. Joe Muldoon and Dr. Chris Smoley present today's recipients.
Shall we begin? I was thinking we can go back and change their grades and keep them here a while if we really wanted to. Yes? Maybe? No? All right. Eric Anderson. Justin Bishop, a.k.a. Bradley Cooper. Taylor Boughton. Ivan Carrillo. Kyle Delamalier. Joshua Feiner. Dawson Fowler. I don't believe Ben Heaney was able to be here with us today. So, Kenneth Huang. Michaela Capping. the incomparable Chu Chi Kong. Cole Langmack. Malachi Marquette. Mariah Matheson. Hannah Meissen. Hannah's done. John H. Mint, the fourth. Yeah. Jayla O'Brien. Braden Peters. Valerie Rinken. Jackson Sadler. Layla Sananti Zakir. Way to go. Good job. Michaela Sapia. Rachel Savard. Jackson Snell. Matthew Tropsha. And last but certainly not least, Gabriel Zastro.
That was fantastic, everybody. Thank you. Excellent work cheering for every single student that walked by. Now, our students are walking up and having a picture taken out here, and as they walk back, I have to fill time. I do think I'm the funniest person I know. However, I'm not good at telling jokes, so you better hope they move real fast because it's going to get painful and awkward. Okay, why do teachers like chiropractor kids? Why? Thank you. Because they are always well-adjusted. Huh? 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 Thank you. All right. All right, which other one can I be terrible at? Okay, everybody know Eminem, the singer, Eminem, right? Okay. What part of the body did the chiropractor fix when Eminem came in? Shady's back. Huh? Huh? Yeah. Let's see. I went to see my chiropractor for the first time in a very long time. And you know what the first thing they said to me was? Glad to see you're back. Oh, we're getting close. We still have like one person. Come on, sit down. I'm sweating. All right. My chiropractor and I got into a terrible fight in the middle of my neck treatment. Now I have to spend the rest of my life looking over my shoulder. All right, we got everybody back. Woo! Congratulations, white coat recipients. Okay. Now that the recipients have come across the stage, I'd like to welcome Jackson Sadler to come up to the podium to lead the oath of professionalism.
All right, fellow students, please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me, please. On this day, October 26, 2024, in the presence of family, friends, esteemed faculty and staff, I hereby affirm to hold myself and colleagues accountable to the content and spirit of this oath. With honor and pride, I vow to uphold the rights and responsibilities entrusted to me by my training as a doctor of chiropractic at Northwestern Health Sciences University and commit to becoming an active advocate of our chiropractic profession. I will faithfully serve the well-being of my patients by upholding myself and my colleagues to the highest degree of professionalism and integrity with unquestionable and unwavering ethical conduct. I will advocate for my profession as a distinct and holistic approach to health. I will esteem those who have taught me the art, science, and philosophy of chiropractic while respecting the knowledge, wisdom, and contributions of my predecessors. I will stand ready to serve humankind and the profession by dedicating my career to the pursuit of health and wellness. I will act within my capabilities and recognize my limitations. I will act in my patients' best interest and will regard keeping their confidence in me as a moral obligation. I pledge my dedication to the practice of chiropractic so that all those I serve may discover true healing, education, and awareness in all aspects of their lives and consciousness. May my skillful hands and clinical knowledge bring strength to the sick, relief to the suffering, and peace of mind to the anxious. May I provide inspiration for all to attain bountiful health and live this life to the fullest. With great respect, I will always affirm these principles, acknowledging that every human life is valuable and powerful. I hold myself accountable to this oath of my own volition. I do this freely and honorably in commitment to learning, living, and serving in my community. May I hold fast to the enthusiasm, passion, and idealism with which I take this pledge. Congrats, everybody.
We still have a year and a half to practice the next oath. As we near the end of our program, I am very pleased to introduce our President and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Deb Bushway, who will provide some closing remarks.
So, wow, what a wonderful ceremony. Congrats to each of you. I can see why your cohort has a reputation of being so strong and so important to the university. It's great to be here to see you make this step. I love the white coat ceremonies, right? They're one of my favorite moments in my job. And it's partly because it is a very important moment for you all to pause, breathe in all the successes that you've gotten so far, start to integrate them into you and who you're going to show up as a healer as you move forward. It's really important in life that we take some moments to pause and acknowledge ourselves and the amazing folks that have supported us in getting to the point that you're at. So that's one of the reasons I love the white coat ceremony. The other reason is you bring me hope. You are the hope for the future. You are the hope for our healthcare systems operating in a new, integrated, whole person manner, and we need you. So thank you for taking the time, the courage, having the wisdom to make this choice, to lead us into a better place. So that hope is something that we all need as we move forward in our lives, and you're going to need it, not in a bad way, but you're going to need it as you step into this next phase of your lives. And I know that the rest of you can see the amazing experiences that your students have here by exposure to the faculty and the leadership of their school here today. I also want to take a moment to thank the teams that pulled together things like the white coat ceremony, our student affairs teams, our facilities teams. None of this happens by magic, even though when they're good at it, it looks like seamless and magic. So join me in a round of applause to the IT. Yeah, they not only allow us to have moments like this, they help every single day work well for us. So many, many thanks for them. So there is one quote I want to read to you because I love this quote. I actually, like KBR refreshed her jokes, I tell myself I should refresh my quote. I didn't. But I'm just going to read it to you anyway. So when we are mindful to the various elements of the human experience and are acutely aware of the sacred responsibility we hold when we treat another person. And we are humbled by the beauty, sensitivity, and complexity of the design of the human body and spirit. It is in that moment that we do our best work. And we are in service to the well-being of the patient and grateful for the fulfilling experience of restoring health to that person. So I wish for you many of those fulfilling moments of restoring health as you move through what we know will be, to Dr. T's point, not always a perfect intervention, but a great intervention. So I will return you to Dr. KBR for the final closing of the ceremony.
Thank you, Dr. Bushway. I have just a few items before we conclude the ceremony today. Faculty, we will have you process down the steps here and then through the middle aisle, followed by our student recipients. Once the recipients have processed out of the room, guests can join them in the foyer area. We invite all of you to stay, take pictures, wander around the grounds, enjoy some light refreshments that you can find in our cafeteria. Thank you to each and every one of you for your part in getting these students to this point, for being here and part of our ceremony. Congratulations to our newest white coat recipients, and please, one more giant, rousing round of applause.